Matt's a pretty vocal leader, and even on crutches, he's still rallying the guys and positive. Is that nice to have a guy like that?
Yeah, that's Matt's personality. He's always going to be like that, and that's just a great sign of leadership, because leadership is more than just what you do on the field. And like you said, rallying your teammates, rallying Jake and everybody else. I mean, we need that. We love him out there. He was awesome today, and he's getting better physically. Hopefully we'll get him out of the boot tomorrow and get him ready to go for Saturday. We anticipate that we'll have him on Saturday. But he's done a great job. He's a great leader. You guys know that. You guys are out here every day, and you see how his personality is and how he interacts with his teammates.
You guys are pretty confident with Jake if he does have to play. How did he look with the ones today? One of the first days he's had running with strictly the ones.
I know his like you said, he got more reps than he's ever gotten before. I thought he did a great job. One thing about Jake, one thing about all those guys in that room is they do a great job preparing. And as a backup quarterback, you have to get as many mental reps as possible to stay in tune with the game plan. And, for the past month, he stands right behind Matt. He looks at the signals. He sees the defense from, Matt's point of view, which is, behind the center. And he's done a great job of getting mental reps. And so the transition hasn't been too hard mentally. Physically, he's catching up with it, but he made a lot of great throws today. He made some good checks, and I'm fired up about Jake. And obviously he can throw that thing all over the field. So I have the utmost confidence and real excited about Jake.
Matt seems to be a little bit more gifted as a runner. Do you guys have to change up the play calling at all when Jake's in there?
No, not necessarily. I mean, Matt made some real good plays against Wofford with his legs, but don't get it mistaken. Jake is very athletic for as big as he does. He doesn't look as quick as Matt is, but they're not too far apart when they run against each other. So if it comes to where Jake needs to make a play with his legs, he'll do that in our run game, and he can extend a play with his athleticism. So, yeah, he just looks different running because he's taller and he has longer legs.
And then how do you evaluate Matt's performance on Saturday? Now, I know he had a few late interceptions, but the overall body of work, how would you grade it?
I think he's getting better. I mean, you got to eliminate turnovers at the quarterback position. And, not every interception is just one person's fault. It could be a route. It could, deal with protection. But and also how the defense, schematically what they do. On one of his interceptions, they dropped the defensive lineman right in the throwing lane when we had a shallow cross coming, and the kid made a great play. That's not something we had seen them do on film. We'd like Matt to be able to see that, but he kind of had to get the ball out of his hand. The other one was a one-on-one situation where he threw it a little bit too far inside, and our receiver didn't win. But he made some big plays. It was nice to see us hit some balls deep, and I felt like we had two other opportunities that could have been touchdowns too. So, without the two interceptions and hitting those two big plays, one we had a pass interference on, the other he just flat out missed coming down this way. That's a 28-point swing that you can't have those type of situations take place when you're playing the conference champs from last year. So, and those are the things that we got to build on. But he fought his living butt off. Even when his ankle was a little sore, and again that goes back to his leadership. He came out there and he gave everything that he had, and that's all you can ask from your players.
What has Matt most improved on from last year to this year? Just
his knowledge of the game and his knowledge of defenses, and I mean he's making a lot of checks, pressure checks, and getting us to the right plays, and just understanding what we're trying to do offensively, the plays that we're calling, and he's able to line guys up, and he just really has a good grasp of what we're trying to do. Those first 2 years, it's kind of bring them along, just trying to get them to understand what we're doing offensively and how our game plan needs to be executed against our opponents. But he picks up things real quick, and it's just experience on the field. So I mean, his knowledge of the game and what we do offensively and what defenses are trying to do has improved tremendously. And then he's put on more weight. He seems more athletic to me. He seems like he runs faster, and he seems more durable. I think one thing he's improved tremendously this year is his ability to run. He's doing a better job of securing the football, and he knows when to get down, and you haven't seen him slide yet, because the last time he slid, feet first, he got a concussion. So he's become a better runner, and he's doing a lot better job anticipating where the ball goes in the passing game.
I know he threw a few interceptions he would like to have back. Is it important to have a guy who doesn't beat himself up over mistakes like that and can really learn from them and develop as a quarterback?
Yeah, at that position you have to. You have to watch it on tape. You have to talk about it when he comes off the field. This is why it happened. This is why you shouldn't have thrown the ball there. And now let's move on, because you can't worry about that. Now you got to worry about the next set of plays that we're going to call when our offense is up, and you got to have a quick memory, forget about it, and start focusing on the next series. And because if you sit there and think about it, then you start to play tentative as a quarterback. Then you're worried about throwing an interception instead of going out there and throwing the football and executing the offense. And that's another thing that he's gotten a lot better at. He's sometimes his worst critic. He gets down on himself more than anybody could get, down on him when he turns the ball over. He takes that to heart, which he should, but he also needs to get over it, and he's done a good job of that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good
Appreciate
one.
it.